Good morning, grade 8s. Our lesson for today would be lesson 1, the moon, on page 78. So I'd please like you to turn to page 78 in your books, please. I'm now going to share the screen with you, and I want us to work through and read through the book together so that we can understand what is required of us, and so that we can also be ready to answer the questions based on the activity. So our lesson for this session is the moon. The moon is the natural satellite or globe revolving around planet Earth. The moon's real name is Luna. Is the moon a planet full of surprises? Well, although people have discovered much information about it, yet a lot of things are still unknown. When scientists studied the moon, they found out that it is almost as old as planet Earth, 4.6 billion years old. I want you to underline that, please. 4.6 billion years old. In fact, let me use this. 4.6 billion years old. The moon is 1/4 the diameter of Earth and about 1/80th of Earth's mass. The moon, unlike planet Earth, has very little gravity. Underline, has very little gravity. And this is why you can actually fly if you stepped on its surface. The surface of the moon is full of craters. Underline the word craters, please. Craters, what are craters? Craters are large, dark, hollow holes covering the moon's surface. We need to know what craters are as well. Since the time it takes the moon to spin around itself is the same time it needs to spin around Earth, this causes the moon to expose only one of its faces. When you see a full moon in the sky at night, this means that the sun is directly behind planet Earth. I want you to underline that, please. Underline this entire paragraph here. When you see a full moon in the sky at night, this means that the sun is directly behind planet Earth. When you are on the surface of the moon, it will always be dark around you because the moon has no atmosphere to cover it or to cover its surface, and is hit by many asteroids. What are asteroids? Asteroids are objects that fly into space and hit the moon at a very high speed. For this paragraph, I would like you to underline the following, please. Underline, when you're on the surface of the moon, it will always be dark around you because the moon has no atmosphere to cover it. So underline that section, please. Right, I need you now to go to the next page, which is page 79, please. Page 79 looks like this. We're quickly going to go through this page as well. Sorry. Page 69. This is where I want you to be. So there they show us a diagram of the moon and the Earth over there, and then there's the sun. Let's read through this information, and also please get ready to underline key information, please. It takes about a month. Underline that, please. It takes about a month to 28 to 30 days. Sorry. It takes about a month, 28 to 30 days for the moon to orbit the Earth. Orbit means to move around the Earth. So the changing face of the moon will be repeated every month. That is a bit of important factual information, is that it takes about a month for the moon to orbit the Earth. Exploration of the moon. What is exploration? Exploration is when people want to explore, they want to learn more, they want to discover, they want to find out information and study. So exploration of the moon. Let's find out about the history of the exploration of the moon. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This is what Neil Armstrong, who was he? Underline that, Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon. He was the first man to set foot on the moon, said when he actually stepped on the surface of the moon in July 1969. However, before Armstrong set foot on the moon, there were many attempts to explore it. Sputnik 1 was the first artificial satellite. Underline that. It's important information. Sputnik 1 was the first artificial satellite launched, not the first human, the first satellite launched, sent to outer space from Earth by the Soviet Union in 1957. In 1960, Yuri Gagarin, the Russian cosmonaut, also known as an astronaut, was the first person to fly into outer space. Right, I want you now to turn over to the next page, please, which is page 80. This one. Now, in the beginning, we also read that another name for the moon is Luna. Luna 9 was the first Russian spacecraft to land on the surface of the moon in 1966. It was the first Russian spacecraft to land on the surface of the moon in 1966. It was used to send photographic images of the moon to planet Earth. Besides people and spacecrafts that were sent to outer space, animals had their share of outer space's exploration. In 1957, Laika, the dog, was sent to space by the Soviet Union. In 1961, so besides all of this, us just learning this information, it is important for us to know the history about people trying to explore the moon. This is important. In 1961, Ham the chimp, a chimpanzee trained by rocket scientists, was sent into space in a capsule. What is a capsule? It's a vehicle or means of transportation to carry humans and animals into outer space. And here we see this chimpanzee getting ready for going to outer space. China is planning to send motorized rovers to collect soil samples from the moon by the year 2018. I wonder if that's happened already. Here it says Russia, on the other hand, is planning to build a permanent man base on the surface of the moon by the years 2027 to 2032. Also, India landed a mechanical rover on the moon's surface by the year 2013. However, it was declared dead because of a mechanical control abnormality due to complicated lunar surface environment. In the years to come, the moon will always be there for many explorers to discover more and more about it. So, let's have a look at our activity questions on page 81. So this will be your homework, grade 8. I would like you to complete this activity on page 81. It says write if each statement is true or false, and you need to correct the wrong statements, please. And please go back, read it. You will be tested on this in your exams. And have a great day. In our next session, we will then mark these questions. Thank you, grade 8s. Read through them, have a look at the questions. If it's true, you just mark it true. If it's false, go back to the text and correct it with the correct statement. I'm looking forward to seeing you in your next session. Thank you, grade 8s.